So, how many of you know Logic since the Atari days? Like, only one? Like, I think I must have been like 15, I guess. That was when I first got to know Logic. It was called Creator or Notator? Notator. I think first Creator and then Notator came along. Okay. And it was a great sequencer. And it was really, really tight on Atari. And then several years later, they adapted it to Apple platform, and it was not tight anymore. It took like 2 years until it would run as good as it used to run on the Atari, on the Apple. And then eventually they implemented the audio with the little interface, and still, but the audio never really worked for many, many years, and that's why they had to work with DigiDesign and had the whole TDM system, which I had for like 10 years probably, until the Apples got stronger and stronger, and eventually Apple bought Imagic, and in my feeling, there was like a war between DigiDesign and Imagic, and I just bought a new TDM HD system for like $20,000+, and it crashed and it crashed and it crashed, and I spent hours and hours on the phone with Imagic and with DigiDesign, and no one really felt responsible. And after 1 year of unfixable crashes, I sold the system and took the plunge and actually decided to try to go native and try to really like produce records with loads of tracks of drum audio. Like sometimes I ended up having 100 tracks, and I started doing that native, and to my surprise it actually worked. And I just got a little Motu 24 in out, which for like $1,000 or so suddenly gave me 24 ins and outs, which in the TDM days was a big expense. Yeah, and then I got the courage to actually start traveling with the laptop and producing records on the laptop. This is another record, the Veronicas. They had already done 40 songs when I came in the picture, and when I said I want to work with them. And the only way for me to work with them was if I would fly to Sydney and in their Christmas time would try to work with them. And of course they were not in a work mode, but I came all the way, so they had to work at least a little bit with me. And then after a few days in Sydney, I changed the scene and asked the management. They wanted to book me a studio in Sydney, and that studio was really narrow and small. And after a few days, I discovered Bondi Beach, and I thought, why not get the honeymoon suite in Bondi Beach, which costs half as much as the studio they rented for me, and record with the laptop there. So I got this beautiful scenery, which is that's Bondi Beach, and that was the suite where we wrote the songs that ultimately made it on the record, and it's way more inspiring than that little place.
Can you play those songs for us, or some examples of those songs?
Oh yes, let me see. I mean, the song I'm going to play now, this is a song that is it's ironic. It's called Speechless, and it's a song where we recorded in a honeymoon suite, but the noise from the buses and all the cars of the road were really, really loud, and I had big problems when mixing, but that was all the audio I had, and I just ended up chopping the audio, like cutting after every breath, and you don't hear it on the record.
Feels like I have always known you, and I swear I dreamt about you. All those endless nights I was alone. It's like I've spent forever searching. Now I know that it was worth it. With you it feels like I am finally home. Falling head over heels, thought I knew how it feels, but with you it's like the first day of my life. 'Cause you leave me speechless when you talk to me. You leave me breathless the way you look at me. You managed to disarm me. My soul is shining through, can't help but surrender. dissed you. I thought that I was strong. Somehow you are different from what I've known. I didn't see it coming. You took me by surprise and you stole my heart before I could say no.